Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sales Ops Effect with your host, Charlene Thompson. And we have Christopher Smith with us today. He is on a mission to prove that CRMs shouldn't suck. And he even has a book. There's a link to it in the show notes. He's the founder and principal of Impeller CRM, and he spent decades helping companies turn their CRMs from frustrating messes that are all over the place with missing or entangled data into revenue driving machines. He's also the host of Sales Lead Dog podcast. You can find that on YouTube as well, where he dives into the real world challenges of sales leadership, CRM adoption, and business growth. So if you like what I've been talking about, you're going to like and love what he's been talking about. So do go and check him out. Hi, Christopher. How you doing?
I am doing well, Charlene. Thank you for having me on your show.
Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to this because there are so many CRMs. In fact, how many CRMs did you just tell me there were before we started recording?
The last metric I saw, there are over 2,000 CRMs in the marketplace today. Many of them are very small niche players that call themselves CRMs, but as we talk, you're going to find out my definition of CRM has evolved, and I think everyone else's should evolve as well, because CRM I truly think is in a few years, 3 to 5 years, is going to look dramatically different than it does today. And we'll dive into that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, what would you say was your standard understanding definition of CRM, let's say like 10 years ago?
Yeah, I think it's how I think most people, when they hear the term CRM, this is what they think of. Hey, it's a tool for sales, it's a tool for marketing. It's going to help me keep track of my engagement with my customers. I'm going to be able to track my activities. I'm going to be able to use this, instead of having to keep this all in my head, it'll all be in CRM. And so when I need something, I can get it from there, and it'll help me be a better salesperson, a better marketer. Um, I think that is the traditional understanding of CRM.
Yeah, yeah. And today, what do you see?
It is mind-boggling to me to see where CRM is going. I think they're going to have to come up with a new term beyond CRM because, the way I look at it, where the leaders in the marketplace, what they're doing with their technology, they're going to make all these CRMs look like what was in the marketplace when I first started. When Salesforce was just coming on, people were using tools like Act was like the dominant tool, desktop contact management. Salesforce completely transformed that market and said there's a much better way to do this. Okay. That same thing is going on right now in the marketplace. And I think over the next 3 years, people are going to see that same kind of transformation. Definitely over 10 years, there's going to be I think, a dramatic shrinking in the marketplace, largely driven by AI. AI is going to become the dominant factor in the evolution of CRM. Oh, it's already starting. It's already happening. And those companies that can do it and do it well are going to be the survivors and are the ones that truly transform the CRM marketplace, and the rest are going to be left in the dust.
That is, I'll be really interesting to see what does happen because the first time I saw AI to some degree inside CRM was with Salesforce when I think it was, what's it called? Einstein?
Yes,
It was, I think it was another company that they bought, and it was basically
yes,
calculations in the background to be able to calculate margins much more easier, basically pulling in lots of information from lots of different reports because original Salesforce was too clunky for it.
yes.
And it could do things like say to you with this deal, if you call them a little bit more, then you're more likely to close it and things like
Yes.
that. And
Yeah.
so it gave you that kind of real-time information. I haven't used it in the last couple of years to see what's happened. But how are you seeing AI come through now? Because AI is still really new. It's growing
It's
very fast, of
super
course.
new. It is still super new, and the leaders are still trying to figure out the best way to leverage AI. But I can see it, what direction they're going in, and it's super exciting. So like you're saying, the Einstein of a couple of years ago, for Microsoft, it's Copilot. They were finding ways, they were struggling to find ways to make AI relevant to in the normal course of business. And so they rolled out some unique features, some things that are, hey, that's kind of cool. Other things where I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm really going to use that or what's the benefit of that to me. Um, so I've really had, to me personally, I've had a wait and see attitude towards this. But over the last 6 months, I'm really starting to see the value. It's really starting to take shape in terms of what they're going to be able to do with AI. And I leverage it heavily in our business today as a sales leader. Um, it has transformed how we sell. And I think that's only going to continue as I see the product roadmaps. Um, what's going to happen? I'm just going to jump right to it. I
Yeah,
think there's going to be two leaders in the marketplace,
yeah.
Salesforce and Microsoft.
Ah,
Microsoft has the edge in AI because they actually invested in it earlier and smarter than Salesforce did.
and don't they own ChatGPT? Is that right?
Yes, they are one of the primary funders of ChatGPT, and that is the core of their technology, but they're also working to develop their own. Um, Everything Microsoft is doing is focused on AI. They have literally shut down product groups, very good products that Microsoft had that were smaller and shifted the entire development teams into AI work. That's how committed they are to AI. They are the 800-pound gorilla in the AI space, the way Salesforce is the 800-pound gorilla in the CRM space today. And it scares the heck out of Salesforce. Salesforce is doing everything they can to catch up. And they're still going to be crazy competitive. They're not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah,
Salesforce is still the dominant CRM player in the marketplace. They're not going anywhere. What's going to happen is Microsoft is going to come up, and I already see it in a lot of their core applications. When we sell my company, full disclosure, we sell Salesforce, we sell Microsoft,
yeah.
Microsoft Dynamics 365. There's a reason why we only sell those two because they truly are the two dominant leaders in the CRM space in terms of research and development. The
Mm.
pace and the speed at which they are rolling out features that truly will impact your ability to improve your business is blowing everyone else out of the water. There's a lot of still like good platforms out there, but they're not going to be able to keep up with the redefinition of CRM over the next 3 to 5 years because they just can't compete with the deep pockets of Salesforce and Microsoft. Their R&D budgets just can't keep up.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking is that you've got the big giants, but then the big giants are the ones that make the way and eventually the tech, whatever the tech is, and in this case it's going to be AI, becomes cheaper, more easier to access, and then the little guys can come back in again. So it's
It's
like a
possible. It'll be
contracting and a
interesting to see if
swelling.
that happens. It really will.
Mm.
Um, I think it's going to be harder for them.
Mm.
Now, what the smart ones that truly have the niche CRMs, if they're able to figure out a way to incorporate some AI features in a meaningful way, they'll probably be okay. Because Microsoft and Salesforce don't really care about those niches. They're going after the larger market. The ones that are going to have to watch out are like HubSpot, Zoho, Pipedrive, Monday, SAP's CRM, NetSuite CRM. Those are all, I think, are going to go by the wayside. I think HubSpot will continue to be a very good marketing platform, but even today, their CRM is weak. To me, it's like just basic table stakes CRM features where I can track my pipeline. I can do the basics that I need out of a CRM, but it's not enterprise level CRM. I would never deploy HubSpot across an enterprise in our business. It just will fail miserably. More
Wow.
versus Salesforce. Microsoft Dynamics, they have the platform, true enterprise level platform capabilities. That's the other key factor in this, in my viewpoint. Um, Small business CRMs, there'll always be a variety of those out there because, again, Microsoft and Salesforce, why they do want them to use their platforms, a lot of times they're more than what a small business needs. And so I always, in the book, I talk about this. People ask us, what's the right CRM for my business? It depends.
Mhm.
I would actually tell them, like, especially if you're very small, getting started, do not get Salesforce, do not get Microsoft, don't get HubSpot. There are other solutions out there that are more economical, that will allow you to scale to where then at that point, then you can start taking a look at the bigger platforms. So again, there'll always be a segment of the market for the smaller
Yeah.
businesses. Those aren't going to fade away, but they're going to be like they are today.
Yeah.
I don't see them evolving a huge amount because they just don't have the R&D budgets to leverage AI. Like, for
Okay.
example, Microsoft in their release that they're pushing out right now, they've baked into their lead management AI. So their lead management is going to be fully AI enabled out of the box. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. It's just going to be there. So, and me as a seller, it's going to be telling me what leads I should be focused on in a meaningful way. Now, they've always been, all the companies, Salesforce and Microsoft have been talking about that for a long time. Now it's truly real. It's not just partial guidance. This stuff they're getting to the point now where it's really meaningful impact in terms of functionality. And so for me as a sales leader, I hear all the time, like, I just need to know my team is focused on the right stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to take that load off my shoulders because I can rely on the AI to make sure that they're focused on the right stuff.
And so
And
that
that's the
also,
type of game-changing capabilities. This is just the beginning. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and better and better.
and what's coming up in my mind is that means that you, again, data, need to be telling your CRM the right things. You're going to be needing to feed into it. What does your ideal client look like
Exactly.
for this
Yeah.
industry so that it can
It's
go out and find them?
That's right. I don't want to give anyone the perception it's a magic wand or a silver bullet. You still have to do all the fundamental work. Thank you for saying that, Charlene. It's so important. The fundamental work of making sure you've got the right data in your CRM.
Yeah.
Because I say this all the time when I'm meeting with clients. I have not yet see a piece of technology that can fix bad data or bad process. It doesn't
Yeah.
exist. You
Yeah.
have to have those fundamentals in place for these tools to really be effective and help your business.
And I'll give you a quick funny story on that one for the listeners as well. There was one sales team I was dealing with, and so some of the sellers, not some, but a very small amount of the sellers were complaining about the quality of leads that were in the system. And that's the reason why they weren't following up with them because they would take one look at them and realize that they're not real. And so therefore they wouldn't go through the follow-up process, but they
Right,
wouldn't say that they weren't real. So therefore marketing wouldn't know that, right? You still
right.
have to do the job. And
Yep.
so having this argument over and over and over again, sales director was on the call. And so I'm talking to them about it again. I'm just like, why aren't you dealing with this? They say the same rubbish again. And we then look at a couple of the leads and they're just like, well, look at this. This one he doesn't, is not even in the right industry. I then look to see where this lead came from. The seller put the lead in themselves from an event, from a business card that they were given. And so then I
Yep.
had to ask the question of if they were not somebody that you were interested in speaking to, why would you put their details in the system?
Right.
No
Right.
answer. It's like,
Yeah.
what are we supposed to do about that? We don't know. We're not going through every single last one of your leads
Oh
in
yeah.
detail. That's for
Yeah.
you to know. If you put it in, what do you want?
Oh yeah. Oh, and the other classic I love is, well, I called them, they never returned my call, or I sent an email, they never responded. Do you ever respond to a single email or a single phone call when someone's trying to reach out to you, even if you know who they are, if you're not quite sure yet? It takes some engagement. It
And
takes
plus,
some
if you're
effort.
busy
Yeah. I think the average is like 20 touches to
these
get
days,
someone
yeah.
to engage with you, right? It's not one or two. You still have to do the work. You still have to engage. You still have to have a relevant message. You still have to be able to deliver value. Um, that's what it's going to take. In
Yeah.
technology, there's not, again, AI can help you figure that out. That's another great way. Um, that AI is helping us in our selling, is really helping us refine our messaging, figuring out, doing research on the marketplaces, like what are the hot topics for given customer segments. You can leverage AI so much to really refine your ideal customer profile and develop a deeper understanding of an industry. It's amazing what you can do with it. Um, and that's to me again truly transformative ways of engaging. It's not the old days where you're throwing mud at the wall. If you're still
Mm.
doing that, just hoping, let's see what sticks, you are going to be left behind.
And I have a question which is slightly off topic, but we will be coming back, listeners and watchers.
Yeah.
But I am very, very big on spending time on expanded business and retaining clients because a lot of people don't actually have standard processes for those
Yes.
other two deal types.
Yes.
They just have them
We
for
need
new
to partner.
business.
You and I think our brains need to meld. They're already like partially melded right
Happily,
now.
happily. Do you think AI would ever be able to help with client service mapping? So
Oh,
being able to,
definitely. It's
yeah, do you
already
see what I mean?
happening. It
Okay,
is
cool.
already happening. Microsoft has spent a lot of time and a lot of research in this. That now you need to have again, you have to have the data in your CRM for this to work.
Yeah.
But it's the technology is coming to where you can develop customer profiles from your data. Now you have to have enough to make it meaningful,
Hmm.
but the AI will mine that data for you to really refine based upon a customer's journey, how they come in, what services they're buying, and when. They can leverage that, the AI can leverage that data to say, here's some other opportunities, some other things that you should be proposing to that customer. Um, Microsoft's releasing technology again in this release now where it will mine your customer conversations with your customer support, customer success teams, looking for sales opportunities based upon keywords that you identify and feed that automatically into the pipeline as a lead with the
Yeah,
relevant details. Um,
that's what I'm thinking about.
that
Because I,
is transformative business where I'm not relying on the sales team to go in and mine the data on their own. The system is doing it in a proactive way. So, based on what's going on with your customer interactions, it's going to serve up sales opportunities to your sales team and fill your pipeline.
I,
That it's just getting started. Imagine where
yeah,
it's going to be in 3 years from now.
that's the thing. And see, it's not off topic. I mean, it all came back around to CRMs because a
Yeah,
proper CRM, could be going into this. And that's the thing because like your more experienced sellers, the ones that have really got the skill and have really grown it, they can spot from a mile off. They can map really quickly what somebody's talking about and that there's a gap here and that actually lines up with what else we've got. And
yeah,
to be binary about it, if you're a hunter or a farmer, I'm much more of a farmer than a hunter. So I can see that stuff. But
yep,
there's plenty of good salespeople that just haven't developed that quick thinking skill yet. And so
right.
having the AI to support them,
Yes.
you could really just help your business because there's
Oh,
tons of opportunity available.
tremendous opportunities that are being missed. That, like in the old days, I would have to work with my clients where we would have to map these out manually,
Hmm.
saying, okay, every time you sell, you've got, let's say, 10 different services or products that are product lines, whatever, that you're selling. You have to really look at the data and mine the data to figure out where are our customers coming in, what's their first purchase, their first, how do we get them as a customer, and then what's their journey through the rest of what we have, and try to
Yeah.
map that out. It's a lot of work to do
Yeah.
that, but you learn so much by going through that process that helps your sellers that say, look, you need to have an account plan based upon where they're at in their journey with and you have to think of it as a journey, right?
Yes.
So there's a shift. A lot of people think it's transactional. No, God help you if you think it's transactional and your relationship is done. No, you got to be looking for the next sale. What's the next sale in their journey? And so that means you have to have a roadmap defined. So if they come in buying product A, oh, we know they've got a 30 or 40% chance of buying product B or product C. So then the marketing team should be engaging them with content around product B and product C,
Exactly.
right? And then as they
Their own
show
routes.
promise and engagement, then you're feeding them into the lead pipeline for the sales team to engage. It's all interconnected. It's all driven by CRM.
Exactly. And thank you so much for saying it as well, because I say it all the time. It's with the deal types. There's so much focus just on new business.
Yes.
Nearly all of the training that I ever see is only ever
Yes.
about new business. And then at some point, somebody randomly says, oh, yeah, and then we've got the opportunity for upsell. Woohoo. But everything is just presumed you'll get the new business in and we'll keep them forever. So you just keep,
Oh, yeah.
or it doesn't matter if we lose people, because if we just keep putting tons of all of our effort, 100% of our effort, or 98% of our effort into new business, then we don't have to worry about the quality of our service.
I know exactly. And all they're doing is just
Rubbish.
refilling the same hole. They're
Yeah,
just you're constantly refilling the same hole. As
not
it
closing
empties,
any
I need to
gaps.
put more dirt in to keep level, to try to stay level, but I'm never growing.
Yeah. And then they wonder
Or
why.
maybe I'm growing marginally, but not growing like you could. You
Mm.
truly, I can't remember the name of the book I read, but the author, really a wonderful book. I wish I could remember the name so I could share it with your listeners. But he makes his living doing this, and his whole focus is you have to focus first on your existing customer base. If you truly do what we just talked about, you can 10x your revenue over time, over like 3 year period. You can 10x your revenue by focusing on your existing customers. Now, I'm assuming you have more than one product or service to sell,
Mm.
but if you truly have multiple products and services to sell and you're able to develop that plan, you can 10x your revenue.
Yeah.
It takes work, it takes effort, but game changer.
It's a blueprint, and particularly for
Yeah,
solopreneurs who often have 15 different skill sets and they've tried this and they've tried that.
yeah,
If their ideal client, well, their ideal client is usually someone that threads through a lot of their different stuff. There's usually some kind of alignment. It's just like you
exactly.
don't have to throw away everything that you've done before.
No,
It might not be the
no.
first option that you talk about, but you can keep it as an option
Yes,
should they need that. Like,
that's right.
people who design websites, do you also do SEO? Yeah, well, look at that.
Yes, amazing.
You know,
And
oh,
that is, I love what you just said. And I want to repeat it because I want to make sure people hear this. Your ideal customer should thread through all the products and services you sell, not just one thing. Oh, this is our ideal customer for this product or service. And this is our separate ideal customer profile for this product or service. No. I mean, it's great if you can get them. I'm not saying ignore those people, but that's not your top tier customer. Your top tier customers, the ones that truly are going to drive growth, are the ones that thread through your entire
yeah.
business.
Because, and the thing is, it takes so much time and money. The cost of sale is so high for a completely brand new customer. To then get them, put all that effort in, and then to accidentally lose them or just miss out on the opportunity to help them further with the other services that you have.
Yes.
And you're spending all of this time and money hustling after the really cold people out there when you've got some people that would
Oh yeah.
love to help you. They already like and trust you,
Yeah, they
you
love
know?
you. They've already you're over the hurdle. They know who you
Yeah,
are. They want to
yeah.
work with you. It's so much easier to sell
Oh,
to those customers if you're delivering, if you're
if you've
doing
got
a
good
good
quality.
job. And
Exactly.
so I talk about this all the time. We work with a lot of SaaS-based businesses where they're really trying to grow monthly recurring revenue. Okay. A lot of industries are in that area where it's all about monthly recurring revenue. I emphasize because they're like, Chris, hey, can we set up where like 90 days out from the renewal, we're going to start sending them an email, or I want a notification going to the sales team that, hey, they need to start engaging with this customer to drive the renewal. And I'm like, you are completely backwards in how you're thinking about it. It's the first 90 days that count and are going to determine if they renew with you, not the last 90 days.
It's too
It's
late.
all about the experience you deliver in those first 90 days. You better wrap them in a bubble of love and make sure they are so happy with what you're doing. They're seeing the value, they're using it. They're just like, oh, we want to refer to you. We want, like, I have a friend who has another business. They're going to love this too. That's what you want those first 90 days. And that means you have to have your CRM set up to support a seamless handoff from sales to customer success, where customer success is becoming part of the sales process before the deal closes. They see what's coming. They have the insight to see what's coming. They're prepared. It's not just thrown over a wall saying, hey, we have a new customer, go deliver. That all has to happen seamlessly, and it will if you set up your CRM correctly and your processes around it correctly. You're going to wrap those customers in a bubble of love. They're going to have a great experience. They're going to renew. It happens in that first 90 days.
Thank you. And we're going to we'll make it like a game show. I'm going to read out some CRMs and we can,
Okay.
I'll ask you what you think about them and who they would be best for in a moment. But
Yep.
again, I want to repeat what you said there and add my little bit to it. Your what's happening inside the company, the back office systems, processes, and tech should reflect what your customer, what the journey that you want them to go through, the journeys that exist. And so often they don't. And that's
Yes.
why it's so difficult and so clunky when
Right.
sales are treated differently from other departments and everything is we'll wine and dine to get a signature. And then once we've
Yes.
got that signature, then they're out in the cold.
Yeah,
We
they're
don't actually
disappearing. You don't
care.
hear from them again. And the
Yeah.
reason why I want people to understand, the reason why I'm bringing this all up, it directly impacts the CRMs I recommend and the ones I won't, because the ones I won't recommend can't do this. They can't support that end to end. They can't be enterprise level and go through organization and support that seamless transition from sales into customer success and delivery operations, whatever your organization calls it.
So it turns out when Chris and I get to talking, we kind of just keep talking, and that episode ended up being nearly an hour long. So I've made the choice to split it up into two separate episodes for your listening pleasure and to make it easier. And so the next one will come out in a few days' time. And we will be talking about in the second half, we'll be going through, I believe it's 13 different CRMs and being very, very real about whether we like them or not and what's good about them and what are their main benefits and who should use them, because not everything is for everybody and that's okay. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode and I hope you join us for part 2 where we do go into all of those different CRMs and let us know what you think about it as well. You can put it in the comments for wherever you are listening to this or watching this or get in touch with us both on LinkedIn. So we'll see you on the other side.